Okay. There we go. You ready? Do I sound alright to you? Okay. Hello, welcome to the next part of Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we started the last case, Rise from the Ashes, where we find out that the victim is a detective, and the not accusee, the... What's that word again? Not culprit, like they think you did it. Suspect. And the suspect is the head of the prosecutor's office. And we've been hired. Her sister was looking for us to take over the case. And a lot of this case is giving parallels to Mia and Maya, just their relationship. A lot of interesting people are involved in this case. Edgeworth, the cowboy police officer, the lunch lady. Remember the lunch lady? The box lunch lady? So, yes, the weird sausage octopus necklace and the rice ball hat. Anyways, let us begin. Bless you. February 23rd, 9:34 a.m. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they were suspected of wrongdoing. You're a fucking prosecutor. You have no... I don't know. Your advice isn't really good for me. Because you play for the other team, lady. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is... You're not a defense attorney. Exactly! I believe it's almost time for the trial. It's not starting for another 26 minutes. What do you mean? Good luck, Mr. Wright. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Ha! Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. It's been 2 months, but I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's so much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first mistress. Call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Star, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Ooh. Haven't I seen you somewhere? Ooh. You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Are those potatoes? Or is that toast? Oh, ho, ho, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a fiesta bowl? Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What the hell does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Star. Don't go forgetting it. Don't you know what caviar is? It's just fish eggs.
Caviar is. I'm saying the pickled whatever part.
Pickled tapioca.
Yeah, like, that doesn't sound good.
I mean, I only know tapioca from the pudding. And I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I have not finished eating. The judge wants Edgeworth to hold on while he finishes the caviar. Hurry it up! Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. Huh? What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Star was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Star was a detective? It's all kind of funny, isn't it? 2 years ago, Jake Marshall was a detective and Miss Angel Star, but something happened 2 years ago to get them down in the world.
Her more so than him.
Well, he's still a cop. He's just a patrolman now, not a detective.
She's a lunch lady.
Well, think about it like this. For him, it's probably more shameful because he has to work a lesser position that, like, beginners do. With her, she probably either got fired or quit. And Alicia looks like she's enjoying what she does. I could buy it if fucking Jake has more, like, resentment for him being a patrolman now. And then there's Mr. Goodman. Remember what he said about him? What they said about him? He was never really a good detective, but a detective nonetheless. Miss Angel Star was a detective? Ah! Ha! I know who you are. Cough up? Cough up Queen Angel Star, Your Honor. Long time no see. I don't know why, but I really like the way she does her eyes right there. It has that, like, tired look to it, but it pierces your soul. You've given me that look a couple times.
Yeah, when I'm actually tired.
And it's very adorable when you are. Very well. And yes, you may continue with the description, Miss Star. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. Oh! The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was this valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. So she made the arrest? She said that she was the one who, witnessed it, and she probably made a, citizen's arrest, because that is a thing you can do. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. Seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright, I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Wait! Are they talking about me? Nope, he's not moving. I think he's just wanting to stay there. Witness account. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, which one, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Whoa! Actually, hold on. That's not right. She saw through the chain link fence? So wait, how did she apprehend her? Because look. There's the fence. If she was on the visitor's side, because, you know, she's not a person there, how could she have gotten to the other side? Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. No, but it's the way she said it. I saw through the chain link fence. I assumed she was there to visit the security guard, but the way she said it, it made it sound like she was on the visitor side. Some things need to be cleared up. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw stabbed into Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may begin your cross-examination of the witness. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. Explain. How did you know? I respect a prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if it hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. So she was let go. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr. Okay, deliver lunch to boyfriend. This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend. Let me turn down my phone. Sorry about that. Not that boyfriend. The security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applications. I'll stick with the lunches, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, you did bring your lunchboxes by car. Since I'm a visitor now, I park in B block. So, was she in B block when she witnessed a crime? When I sent something, okay. You sent something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder. It felt like, how would you say... Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Bruce Goodman, also a detective? Yes. Well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese not tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack. Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence. By the garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you sure it was the defendant? Excuse me. I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. He's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness! In your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. Ugh. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over in a snap and I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now? You'd think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Uh-oh, this is unmistakably Lana Skye. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Wait a minute. Tell me more about the knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well-versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my, egg salad surprise set? You can't just testify as to her ability to kill an egg, a person. Huh? Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. Chicken salad does sound kind of nice right now. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the knife... Hold on. Can I use the picture? Yes! And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl. Ooh, lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. Man, this girl's making me hungry. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph that you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? Actually, wait a minute. But it's a black and white photograph. Ah. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem except you. Mr. Wright, are you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Got a better idea? I object. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you ordered seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. The prosecutor's Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. What? Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. The murder was planned. Hold on. Nope. Not the phone, because it shows the time when No traces of the victim's blood, Hold on. No traces of the victim's blood? Oh, traces. Excuse me, I was reading the fucking no on the bottom. Whoops. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves? Like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Ah! Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them all thinking that this was all planned. She can prove this. The trial's already over. I got to think of a way to show this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What did we do? Is that it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. What else could it be? Not the ID. It's just kind of seeing what works. Is it the knife? Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are the prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing, the murder weapon? Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Where do those box lunches come from? Oh. Order, order, order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Right show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge that knife in again and again. Actually, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. I know she called Huh. Could she have called before? It's not in the thing. The victim was summoned to the police department was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Explain. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse a defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why do you believe this suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. You have no proof that Miss Sky called him there. You have no proof that she didn't? Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Sky's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have at least tried public phone first. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think the suspect was summoned to who summoned the victim that day? I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Why do you say that? What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See? We agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree? I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty. The judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self. Mr. Edgeworth's sighs smell like citrus fruit. You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people! Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Channeling her abilities as a detective really paid off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. The phone? Or no, the note. Nope. Nope, not the phone or the note for this. I understand. Not the knife. Oh! I found the evidence. Stabbing multiple times. One knife wound from the autopsy. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk. He's my hero, actually. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness, you've got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood, but now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood on her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Nope. That's wrong too, because look, in her photo... Hold on. Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. But that's false because she's not wearing one in this picture. So she can easily be hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. He's right. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I did think I saw some traces of blood from her on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. This is our chance. Chance for what? Starting to be as short to... Okay. Just need to go back to that statement and use the photo. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. Was my objection chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. Most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might be the moment of truth. Apprehending the suspect. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind the partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made it to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You're quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a cobra, and I strike like a snake and I bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine, if you will. I'm curious about something. After the... Okay, press... So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what do you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. You say quickly, were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? I like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchtime car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is this correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing. The cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. She couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory is like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. That's right, near the car there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order on that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing. Whatever happened to good old testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please the rookie defense attorney. Lana's cell phone record updated the court record. Let me see. The floor plans? Yeah, because how could she have seen with the wall in the way? Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unarmed by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who together with the chief prosecutor kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime scene from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? Order! Order! What is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Yeah. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you'd allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's the counterattack. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about where she saw it? Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Pointless to lie? I see. But say the witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard now points to one direction. The place Miss Angel Sky, the security room? This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room? Indeed, the security room in the parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are so many other places where she could have been seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in 8 block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr, how many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. Justice prevails. The guilty? She's talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't have changed anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? The angle of the crime? Why, the angle of which she saw the crime occur would change. The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of, more of a 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? Perhaps you'd like to reconsider, Mr. Wright? Not it. The distance to the crime? It changes the distance between her and the crime and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed a crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime when you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness, you... Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? Squid wheels? The quality of our lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Boysenberry for the boyfriend. But he wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed a crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking lot in B block. That's quite a detour. It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. Oh, you've already made a mistake. 5 minutes? Or something. This changes things considerably. But it was that woman over there who, in the defendant's chair, who stabbed him. I know it. I have the photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear on my finest plastic spork. You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention. Would you like another caviar lunch? Absolutely. Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Yes. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest? Think about it. You could have made pasta at that amount of time. If you like it al dente. I got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do within 5 minutes, Your Honor? Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone. But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah! Well then, seems we come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her personal history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. That was too close. I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Hold it. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's the one she tried to foist off of on me. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence. What was that? Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies. We have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr. Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox? Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence. Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. God, this just makes me want a bento box now. I know. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence? I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe, Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. What? There was blood found on that shoe? Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself. And you had a blood test performed? Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics. In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence. What? You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being. Is this right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen. You could at least study some evidence law, really. The prosecutor's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness. Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. What did you lie about? Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing. Then why didn't you just tell the truth? Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsify evidence, arrange testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. When the suspect is admitting she did it? But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with. And now the shoe. You found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I want to make myself useful. I was waiting for the police to arrive. So like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe is my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen. I'm happy for you and your box bag, really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now tell us what you did next. I'm curious. It's this testimony that I'm a little iffy about.
Objection!
Nope. How is it blood from the prosecutor too? Nope. This is blood. It's my sister's, right? Pretty so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when we saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. Ah, there's blood here too. On the sole of the shoe, it's got to be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood. It's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. Use the victim's shoe.
Objection!
Let me investigate the shoe again, but just go through the dialogue. Press. So you brought it to the forensics department? If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does not appear to have bloodstains on it. Well, the man was stabbed after all. And the blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman. As I said, there were 2 types of blood found in the shoe. It's not the knife on this testimony. The shoe? Wait a minute. The photo? Wait a minute. How could she have cut her hand? Nope. Let's press it and see what happens. You can't say for sure that the blood belonged to the defendant without a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, Ricky? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell blood tests with whether a murder was committed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, we can differentiate millions of types with all blood tests out there, which means that we can more or less narrow any sample of blood drawn to just one person. Or so I hear. That's pretty specific. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten the DNA test results, but they said that's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. The shoe proves it. It's just a flawless, decisive evidence. Nope. Press? I can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Ew. Someone like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client, she's enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or do you not have a problem with the shoe? Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? Yes. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eye, you're still a young rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now, but you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is the contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. Take that! I wonder if you noticed there's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be the blood on the bottom. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a lot of blood on the bottom of the shoe. Makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about the blood on the bottom of the knife? I'm guessing your shoe has blood on it too. You just shot yourself in the foot. Nope. Just go through this again. Show the bottom of the shoe. Doesn't look like there's any blood right there. The photo? The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why isn't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Excuse me. Order, order, order. Well, witness? What, huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction, but then you have to ask yourself why there isn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright. Think. I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? Nope. I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There's only one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hand aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful, but a predator, that one, a leopard one. The oil drum was full of water? I thought that was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that. I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt on the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the blood stains that would become evidence against her. Ah! God damn, how long is this case going on for? Over an hour now. An hour and 7 minutes. That ties up things quite nicely. The blood stains left on the victim's shoe tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase all the telltale signs. Well, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, this guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she cut herself when she stabbed him? So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please. What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Miss Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Hold it! Little girl, what did you say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you had your fill, but you're demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare me, the cough-up queen. Look at this. A photograph? I just had it in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no evidence for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait, look at the asphalt in this photo. Huh? It's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind, immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the very beginning. It seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right, wet or not, don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up, not until the bitter end. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time, I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Your Honor, wait. What is this with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, right? Are you saying there's a problem with this last piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem, right or wrong. I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem with this evidence.
Take that!
The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? It's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a minute, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor? You just said muffler. However, I see no traces of a muffler or a scarf in any kind of this photograph. A muffler is also part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it part of the exhaust system, a pipe. I see. And I see. What's that suspicious-looking claw sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much as in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to the case.
Take that!
The phone. Miss Starr, recall your testimony from the court. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she... Excuse me, I had a cough for a second. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what she had confused in her earlier... That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Ah! Yeah! Could it be that muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh! War! Well, it seems we have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If I leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have a car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all of the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Whew. That was close. But we made it, at least for now. This court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. He's still hungry? To be continued. Oh god, this fucking trial was long. Okay, so this trial is actually in 2 parts, but this is long as hell, so we're gonna have to get to this later. The next episode will be another Phoenix Wright episode, if only to conclude the second part of the trial. And then after that, we'll go to Ghost of Tsushima. But anyways, this is the end. So what did you think of this first half? I mean, she has a bias against the prosecutor's office. But so many things. It's not like even she didn't do it. It's like you're finding just weird pieces of the trial that just doesn't make sense. It's like, why are all these things happening, and how could they be connected to how this could probably not be a murder? Just raises more questions. Let me ask you this. After seeing all of this evidence, do you think she did it? What do you think happened then? Do you think this guy might have been killed at another time? Or maybe he was already dead when she stabbed him?
Already dead.
I guess we'll have to see. Anyways, thank you all for coming to the stream. Thank you to my beautiful wife, Naravar, Moon and Stars, for being here. And I'll see you all at another time. Thank you and goodbye.